Is Rick Astley sad that his song was used to punish people?
Yes.
It's actually no. He's super pumped.
Really?
Yeah, he's really excited that like his song at first like that was like one of his like one-hit wonders kind of songs. And then, like, after that, he lost popularity and, like, just started doing whatever. Mm-hmm. And so now that it's become, like, a thing, or now it's not really so much a thing, but a few years ago, it was, like, a huge thing. And he loved it. He was like, oh, I'm so happy that, like, my song became something else,
I bought his album because of that.
Really?
Rick roll.
That's funny. I don't know if I can die until I die. So true! I would love to talk about that one. That one's really, really cool. What do you think about that one?
I mean, I feel immortal.
Oh, snap. You feel immortal? Ben Fleck, everybody, quote him on that.
I feel immortal. I cannot die. I don't get hurt. I can't feel pain.
The movie Unbreakable with Bruce Willis was based on your life.
Yeah, pretty much.
When did that movie come out? 2006? And you were how old then?
I was 13.
They were like, hey, this 13-year-old is unbreakable.
Yeah, let's make a movie.
Let's make a movie.
Well, I would have been 12 because the filming and everything would have took like a
What's
year.
funny is that I kind of technically, I wouldn't say that I feel immortal, but I think that that's like, if I wasn't immortal and I didn't know it, I would feel the exact same as I feel now.
Probably.
You know what I mean? Like, I get sick like everybody else does, sure. You're like, I don't.
I've never been sick.
But, like, yeah, there's actually been more things that, like, went crazy well for me than there were that went crazy bad for me, which makes me go, well, shit. I can beat anything that, tries to take me down, So, yeah, I like to think that. I don't know if I can die until I do die.
All right, here's another topic, y'all. It's weird to think everyone has memories, but none of them are the same as mine.
All right, so what do you have to say about that?
Well,
because I'll go off like crazy.
I do think it's really weird because I always wonder why I'm conscious,
That went real deep real quick.
Like, I think being conscious is, like, insane. Just thinking about being alive and, like, being able to look around and, like, everything works perfectly and I can live without dying in a second. Like, on top of that, like memories, like, your consciousness is your own. Like, you're alone in your own consciousness. And it's so weird thinking that because you came into the world for, like, not knowing anything, and, like, you can just start remembering things, and, like, it's so weird to think about. Like, you came from one cell and now you're, like, a human being. You
technically came from two cells.
Well, yeah, an egg and a seed.
A seed. I wish that would work in real life in nature, where I could take, like, a tree seed and put it in, like, a chicken egg, and that works.
A chicken tree.
Yeah, but in the same species, that is how it works. Mm-hmm. Flowers are a weird way to think about this. So, like, there are girl flowers and there are boy flowers. Boys spread their seed, fertilize the girl flower, and then she makes actual seeds.
Bees play a big role
part in that, yeah.
too.
So we're getting off topic, though. So here's what I want to talk about. So this question says, it's weird to think everybody has memories, but none of them are the same as mine. That is not true entirely. You actually probably share the same memories with a lot more people than you actually realize. I'm going to blow your mind right now. So Mind.Control.Context in general, like the play on words there was that media is technically like a form of mind control. And that was one of the reasons why I liked the name. And the reason that it is a form of mind control is because when you watch these shows, your brain is in like a straight up download scenario. When you're like reading or something else, doing something actively instead of just receiving information, you're actually basically downloading and uploading to your own brain, memorizing, making like visions in your brain and stuff, and so what you're basically getting is these memories. So if I asked you, hey, do you remember 9/11? the things that you're going to recall about like 9/11 was the stuff that you saw on TV because you weren't there.
Yeah.
But you know about it and you remember it, right? So that's how it is for everybody. If you're like, hey, remember 9/11? Which is funny that's how, you're asking people if they remember, because they were like, oh, never forget. If you ask somebody, hey, do you remember 9/11? You all share the same memory.
True.
Which is crazy to think about. So say you like the same show. Say you and I are super into Breaking Bad, right? Best show ever. And we recall these memories that we have of Breaking Bad. And we both saw the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In the way that it was meant to be projected. So technically, especially if you have a lot of friends who share the same things, you do have the same memories. It's your own personal spin on it because you have other things in your brain, you know what I mean, that make you think other things. But especially in terms of media, if there's video and audio together, I think that those two things by themselves can make a memory. Right, because the video is a different thing because you can have a different idea for what was going on, you know what I mean, outside of that. Or if you're just listening to music, you could have a different visual in your head. Mm-hmm. But if you put those two things together, that's basically a dream. What you're seeing and what you're hearing.
True.
Or thinking, technically, because no one ever actually talks in your dreams. You just hear, or you just know what they're saying, you know what I mean? Do you ever see somebody that's not the person, but that's you're like, oh, that's my dad, but it's not your dad, it's like a lizard or something. But in your head you're like, you just accept it and it just talks as if it's your dad,
Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know what kind of lizard dreams you're having. My lizard dreams.
Can I tell you a really weird dream that I had recently?
Yeah.
Along these lines. So I had a dream the other day where I was telling my dead grandfather that his son had died. That's all I remember from the dream. That wasn't the entire dream, but that's right before I woke up. That was what was happening in my dream. And I was just like, I just told my dead grandfather that my dad died. I was like, what? While I'm awake now, I'm trying to figure out, where the hell was I? Why was I able to talk to my dead grandfather? What happened to my dad? There was this,
The only way you could say that is if you died before your dad, and you found out.
And I found out, yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? What was my dream, putting me in? So my first thought after that was, I should probably call my dad, make sure that he's alright. But then I was like, first of all, nothing's wrong with my dad because there's no way that could have happened. My other thought, like how you said, the only way that could have happened is if I had died. That was my first reaction. Then my second reaction was, what if just while I was in my dream state, I astral projected or whatever and could communicate with, spirits, and the one I talked to was my dead grandfather. Which is funny because I wasn't ever close with my grandfather. It just happened to be him.
That's weird.
But yeah, I was like, yeah, that didn't happen either, because nothing's wrong with my dad. My dad's fine. I've talked and hung out with him many times since, and he's great. My grandfather's still dead.
But your dad is alive and
kicking. My dad's alive, yeah.
He's kicking. Not the bucket.